Welcome back to Resurrection of Heaven's Liquor. We are here with Stage 4, which has a different boss depending on which character you're playing as. So I've switched back to Flandre for the time being, but I am going to show you all 4 bosses. That'll give the other player characters a little bit more time in the spotlight, since, you know, I've been using Moko the entire, for the rest of the game. Anyway, the stage itself doesn't change, so you only need to see me fight the character-specific bosses in. These fairies actually manage to fire bullets. Fancy that. Still not much of a threat. And, I can't really tell because the graphics aren't that great, but apparently we're going up a waterfall. Mountain of Faith, Stage 4, anybody? Anyway, there's no mid-boss, but instead we have this, fairly threatening fairy gauntlet. 2 of the fairies drop bombs, so if you bomb once, you'll get 2 bombs in profit. And next up is, this is actually kind of interesting. It's a laser maze of sorts. Now, I kind of like this except for 2 things. One, that sound that the lasers make when they appear is annoying as heck, and 2, the lasers have weird hitboxes. So, I don't get hit at all by them, but it can be very annoying the first time down, because you won't know where the lasers will actually hit you, and there's 2 dead ends right there. That isn't too fun. So who does Flandre have to fight in the 4th stage? Why, none other than her sister Ramelia, and we're in space apparently, or the night sky anyways. So Ramelia opens up with a pretty generic knife pattern. And of course, there's a Scarlet Moon in the background. Anyways, this spell card is, again, its difficulty is negated the minute you destroy those familiars. Ramelia herself doesn't fire anything aside from lasers every now and again. Still, this fight is pretty tough, and I do have to use a couple of bombs every now and again. This is a pretty annoying non-spell, because, you know, there's that pulse in the lasers. Those are tricky to avoid, because you have to be right in the center of 2 lasers in order to avoid it. This is also fairly tricky, but just like the previous spell card, you just have to... Well, I actually got hit there finally. That's actually the first life I've lost in the entire LP, I think. This is a pretty easy non-spell. Just straight daggers. The daggers that from the slower daggers never actually hit you because the spell card is over before they can actually hit you. This is really annoying. A bunch of bullets come out in a heart-shaped pattern and then they just use a bomb to avoid that. And the final spell card is creatively titled Embodiment of Scarlet Devil. And that's actually the only English spell card title in the entire game, I think. So, it seems like this should be easy because you just have to stream the daggers while avoiding the regular bullets, but I just go crazy and use a bunch of bombs because I don't feel like dealing with it. Also, very nice laser wings there. Oh well, that's the Ramelia fight. At least it may have managed to make me lose a life. Anyways, Ron has to fight her own master Yukari for some reason. How come Yukari doesn't have a parasol or a gap in this portrait? I don't know. I don't question the graphics because all of the portraits are slanted anyhow. So we start with a non-spell taken straight from Perfect Cherry Blossom. You can imagine we're going to get a lot of that in this fight. Well, one good thing I can say is that most of Yukari's spell cards have very low, well, a lower amount of life to make up for the fact that Ron has really low firepower. This isn't a very difficult spell card, but I actually did get hit there, so I have to use a bomb. Now this is a little trickier because you know, it's alternating between a set of slow knives and fast knives. This is not a difficult spell card. I mean, it'll probably hit you the first time you play because those red talismans are very fast. But once you get a feel for it, the blue talismans that change to white are too slow to even have a shot at hitting you. They do seem to have weird hitboxes, though it seems like I should have gotten hit there with that previous wave of red talismans. So next is more stealing from Perfect Cherry Blossom, I think. It's been forever since I cleared the Phantasm stage. And of course they didn't start at the far left or right of the screen, so streaming that was impossible. Learn to stream, Ephraim, learn to stream. What's next? Oh, speaking of learning to stream... Okay, how are you supposed to stream this if the blue talismans are creating a solid wall at any given point? Yeah. Score 1 for lazy spell card design. Also, this one has way too much life. It's taking a solid 60-90 seconds to clear it. Almost there, come on. There we go. And the final spell card is... total bullshit. Yes, you will most likely die to that the first time you fight it because, you know, it's something that you're not really expecting. And then the rest of it is just claustrophobia from those large bubble bullets and the pink bullets. I'd suggest just using a bomb and getting away with it, getting out of it the easy way. So that was a relatively poorly designed fight. So these first two fights have been ridiculously hard. So what about Moko? She has to fight an armless Kaguya. Wow, these portraits are getting weirder and weirder the more we play. So I'm not sure whether I should be upset or happy that Kaguya's fight is the easiest out of all 4 Stage 4 bosses. I mean, I'm going into this with less than max power, and it's still pretty easy. This is probably a rip-off of an Imperishable Knight spell card. I'm too lazy to think of it. Oh, and did I mention that destroying the familiars makes this a ridiculously easy spell card? Yeah. Jeez, it's like everybody from Imperishable Knight is competing to see who can have the easiest boss fight. I mean, think about it. This is lunatic level. It's not really being very threatening at all. Okay, this I can see actually killing someone every now and again, but, well, now I have to bomb because there's no way to get back under Kaguya without getting a hit. So yeah, another learn to stream spell card. And this non-spell is over long before it becomes a threat. That's starting to get to be a running theme in this game. This, I'd say, is kinda difficult. The stars have really weird hitboxes. But so you kind of have to know the stars' hitboxes, but once you do, it's not that hard. Yeah, and the final spell card is actually very random. It's just a bunch of random large bullets, and you can see that I got hit there because I wasn't expecting a bullet to come out there. Then I get hit again because this is a very bad idea for a spell card. I mean, it's too random. Yeah, very embarrassing moment for me there. I lost like 3 lives to that, but that's okay. So Kaguya winds up being the easiest out of all 4 bosses, which adds to the which makes Moko the best character, like even more so. So Suwako has to fight Kanako, and yeah, I'm starting to get sick of looking at these portraits. So, Kanako starts with an incredibly generic non-card. That was, well, I had the bomb there, but it's not really a hard non-spell. So I really hope that the Suwako lasers don't make it difficult to see any of the bullets, and I have no idea what this, well, it kind of reminds me of Moko's card, Honest Man's Death, only it's like, even stupider. Like, I can't even talk about it. Okay, so there's one red familiar in there controlling the laser, but I have no idea how Suwako in particular is supposed to get to it. Moko probably could because her firepower is overpowered, and I just lost a life to this. It's a fairly difficult non-spell here. So what do you have for us next? Well, I don't see what the point of any bullets other than the gray ones are. And even then, these aren't really difficult to avoid. Well, I did have to bomb, though. But seriously, the gray bullets are the only ones with a shot at hitting you, so don't know what's up with that. Okay, I've done Don Makufu scripts with non-spells more interesting than this, I'm just saying. Well, it's kind of difficult, but it's not very pretty, is all. Next is it's completely generic, and this apparently means it counts as a spell card if it's totally generic. Way to go against the spell card rules. But, like, the whole point behind the spell card rules is that your attacks are supposed to look pretty. This looks bland. And I think I'm actually going to capture this. It's good to have at least one spell card capture on my record for these boss fights. Yep. And the final card of the fight and the stage is... Okay. Okay, I just want to ask, how am I supposed to... Well, I've got to move in a circle around the screen in order to avoid the snake bullets hitting me. Oh, and that's pretty clever, too. Kanako, snakes, yeah. So, how am I supposed to stay under Kanako while avoiding the snake bullets? That's the question I pose to you. In fact... Gosh, if I didn't bomb, I would probably run out of time before the card was over with. Well, before the card's life was down. This is a horrible spell card. What were you thinking? I don't think it's even possible to capture that on Lunatic difficulty. Well, that's one way to close down Stage 4. Next up is Stages 5 and 6.